believe women here are seen as galvanizers. Women can bring peace if they want. They can make an ensemble of all the broken parts of the society to make sure every iota of hate speech, every iota of, let me say, problem is killed so that our society will be set on a platform of success. I don't know, do women have any role to play in peacemaking?
A big yes, they have a role to play in peacemaking. Women can't be silent when all around the world people hurt and hungry children cry. We'll sing out now for justice and development and hold the rights of all the people high. Women now are working to build a better world, where the love of peace can rest on every shore. When men lay down their weapons and learn to love and share, and people work to bring an end to war, our women cannot be silent. They have a big role to play. I want to refer you back to the days we are talking about Cameroon. We are in Bamenda, the days of the 90s when Cameroon's peace was threatened. There were uprisings, and I want to say that the first people who went to the streets were women. If you have heard about Takumbans, yes, old women will go out to the street naked, and it's a very bad sign for any man who sees it. They are going out because they want to express their indignation. They are tired. They don't want to see people die. They don't want to see their children suffer. They don't want war. They don't want anything that disturbs the peace. That is a big contribution. When you go out to march, when you go out that way, you are telling not only Bamenda people, you are telling not only Cameroon, you are telling the whole world that peace is primordial. That is their own way they can do it at the level of the older women. And we are saying that even today, women are the people who go out to sensitize. Most community agents are women. They go out and talk peace. They talk peace from home to home. They talk peace in groups, like what we are doing here. I just mentioned to you that I meet IDP groups here, and I talk to them. One of the things I tell them is peace. We go out and we talk. Women are the people who do a lot of talking. They are the ones who do the march past. They are the ones who gather people to tell them that peace is good. Peace was good yesterday. It is good now and will always be. So women have a very big role to play as far as peace is concerned. I also want to say that this war, this crisis going on, when it started, women started single-handedly carrying out responsibilities, home responsibilities. Think about our husbands who are in the bushes. Think about our children, boy children who are in the bushes. Think about our children who are in the military. When they fight, they are no longer with us in the house. Who takes care of the house? Just the fact that a woman is able to carry out the home responsibilities, shoulder all the responsibility in the house when the husband and the male counterparts have gone out to fight, is a big step towards achieving peace. It's because she wants the house to continue to function. She wants to say that I don't support war. I don't support war. That is why she stays back and tries to put broken pieces together. Even women who have been displaced and other family members like men who have been displaced, our young children who have been displaced, they come and gather somewhere, the person taking care of them and shouldering not only the responsibility, but household chores is the woman. They are doing all of this because they want to tell the world that we want peace. We want peace. Women have had conventions. Last July, there was a convention of the Northwest Southwest Task Force that held in Yaoundé. Okay. That involved more than 1,000 women. They went to sit down and talk about peace and talk about the importance of peace and how women, in particular, can move towards achieving long-lasting peace. Just last February, in Bamenda here, the Northwest women also sat to map out strategies, to evaluate, to see how women can do this peace process. And all of that is to show that they have a big contribution to do in mapping out peace. Then the Ministry of Women's Empowerment is also working with other women leaders, with other women leaders in order to get good strategies of having peace return. They also go on the media, like many other leaders. The Minister of Women's Empowerment has been on the media several times, other women leaders have been on the media. They are condemning with vehemence. They are showing their indignation for the killing and the torture and the rape of our children that finally even leads to death. They are saying that war is bad. War was bad. It is bad. It will always be bad. Nobody can sit quiet, especially a mother. A mother is let me say, it's the woman is the mother of the family. If your husband is not fine, if your child is not fine, you cannot be fine. So women have a very big role to play as far as peace is concerned. And we are talking here about the convention of the resolution of the UN Council, Security Council. That resolution is 1325. We are insisting that women, that resolution talks about women, the protection of women and girls and children in general during war, that women should be protected during war. Women should get involved in avoiding war, preventing. Women should be involved in managing. If war finally comes, they should be involved in seeking peace and reconstruction when war goes. So when we get together as women, we insist that this convention should be respected to the latter. It should be respected to the latter. That in the course of reconstructing DDR centers, women should be consulted. They should also take into consideration women's special needs. Most of the places like refugee camps that are constructed during when war is ending, they don't really take into consideration women's special needs. For instance, you get into a refugee camp, there are no toilets, no gender-friendly toilets. The men and the women are using the same toilets. They are not taking into consideration women's special needs. The men and the women are there together, and the women are going to manage their menstrual periods, and they don't have privacy. So we are saying that all of this brought together cannot keep a woman. If these things are not respected, a woman can never be silent. She cannot be at peace. And she too has to work so that she will have means. When she is working, she has means to go out there. If you have to go out and talk to women and you don't have money, how do you do the talking? How do you go there? So women need to be empowered and need to be involved at all the stages of peace building.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Gladys. Peace is paramount, and Martin Luther King Jr. will say, peace is not a way, but the only way. So we have to keep crying out for peace. We have to keep crying out for peace, and women have just a lot to do as far as that is concerned. The voice of a woman is different. And as we've all heard from you, women have a lot to do. And like we said from the beginning, women are seen as galvanizers, and I believe they have the power to cry out for peace in the society. Without any waste of time, we would like to know from you, how does war affect women? First of all, does it affect them? And if it does, how does it affect them?
Yes, war affects women and affects them really, really much. Women are part of the society. I mentioned that here women constitute 51% of the population. If the other 49 is goes out for war, can the 51 be fine? They will not be. How does it affect them? It slows down economic activities and increases over-dependency. If you have a husband with whom you build your family together, you run your home together, if he is no longer there, if you did not have anything doing, it slows down economic activity. It makes you depend more and more. It gives you suffering. It gives you torture to be able to know how to manage a house, especially if you had known that both of you were doing the management together. It reduces the income in the house. So it really affects women. It transforms them into IDPs. Women run away from where war is hot and they drift towards places where they think they can have peace, where they think they can rest. But in the course of doing so, they are exposed again more and more. When they get to some of these places, they are exposed more and more again to a negative impact of war. For instance, when women go meet in a home where there are so many of them, the capacity to eat even a square meal is limited.
It's limited.
And by so doing, they are exposed again more and more to sexual violence in that very home. You run away from where you were supposed to be living, and you get to another person's house, you are not going there to choose space. You are going to get the space that they give you, if at all there is space that they give you.
Exactly.
And when you are there, you will accept any kind of condition. And I want to say that there are some women who, in this condition of IDPs, accept to sleep with men not because they want it, just because they know that man is going to give them something to eat.
They want to survive.
They want to survive. And one of the greatest impacts of war, of conflicts on women, is the practice of gender-based violence. We've been talking about gender-based violence, but it gets to its peak, its maximum point, when there is conflict. That is the highest time when women are raped. Raped, like I said, because they are no longer comfortable to choose what to do. They are no longer free to stay where they will stay and be fine. They move to different places. Some of them are even taken and raped when they are in the course of struggling to run. Sometimes they struggle to run and they find their way instead in the bushes, or they find their ways into the hands of other belligerents. And that is the time that they are tortured, they are raped, they are even executed. We have examples of women who have been tortured, killed, and they are dragged on the streets like an animal that has just been butchered. Most of the women become widows. That's an impact. Their husband dies at war, you remain a widow. And being a widow is not a very easy thing. You have the challenge of bringing up a family all alone, whereas you had planned to do it together. It also affects their reproductive health. It gives unwanted pregnancies. Their reproductive health is affected her. Most of the times, because of conflict, the first places that are attacked are hospitals. Even when the hospitals are not attacked, their staff get attacked such that they no longer can do their work well. So women who are raped during war and they get pregnant, first thing, that pregnancy is unwanted. The second thing is that it's another mouth to feed. These women don't even have the chance to go through prenatal visits. That's to care for the pregnancy before delivery. Some of them end up delivering on the streets, in the bushes, or at homes, not catered for by any doctor. So their reproductive health becomes a challenge. No prenatal care. Some of them are exposed to sexually transmissible diseases, including AIDS. Because of conflict, you have been raped, you have contracted a pregnancy, you have contracted a sickness, and you have to live with it all your life. It is not easy. So things are worsened when the conflict is added to, or when conflict comes and there is another pandemic like this COVID-19 that we have, that has come to add to the conflict that we are living. All of these bring restrictions. Conflict, pandemics, they bring restrictions. You stay at home. Movements are restricted. You have to use a lot of water. The impact on women, you will ask me whether it's only women who stay at home. When they stay at home, women who are menstruating, I keep coming back to this because these things are interrelated. They are even related to equality. At home, in a space that you are barely managing to live, can you effectively manage menses with no water? Because where you come, stay with people and there is no water, that challenge, menses is supposed to be managed enough with water. You have to be washing things, washing your hands after touching a menstrual part and all of that, after changing. So when they come together and they are living as IDPs, they have the challenge of even obtaining part, they have the challenge of washing their hands, they have the challenge of eating. So the impact on women is really, really much. And most of our girls, I cannot go without saying this, most of our girls have become prostitutes.
Before we continue, I would like to hear from you, Madam Gladys. What will you have to tell most of those daughters who have found themselves in such situations? Is it like we said from the beginning, when some of them find themselves in difficult situations where they are looking for maybe just a place to accommodate themselves? Is it the best decision to give in to sexual harassment because they want to survive? Or what advice can you give to them? As a girl, if you find yourself in such a situation, what is the best thing to do?
Under no circumstances should a woman give in to sexual harassment against her wish. Under no circumstances, even in times of war. We are saying that stand for your opinion and stand firm to it, even if you must die. Because even accepting the sex activity with a man that you don't know or that you don't like, it's not guaranteeing that you're going to live. So we are saying that under no circumstance should a girl do that. But we have alternative ways out. women should continue to be resilient. Women should strive to do something. One of the reasons why we insist on women's empowerment is because if you give in to sex just because you wanted a meal, it is bad. If you go out, we have our hands, we have our feet. We can move, we can do things, we can learn how to do things with our hands in order to have a square meal, in order to live, in order to survive. So we are saying that if you are in a situation where people sexually harass you, still continue to be resilient, continue to refuse, to stand firm, but above all, strive to learn something. That is why we go out, we teach women. There are trainings that we offer to women on the spot, a training that can last even just an hour, 2 or 3, where you learn a life skill, where you'll be able to use that life skill to survive in all circumstances. We are telling all the people who have been displaced, displacement is not the best, but they get displaced. Why? Because they want to survive. Nobody wants to stand and get killed. So if for any reason you are no longer where you were supposed to be, where you are, make use of the opportunity to learn something. We have trainings that we give out to women, and many other people do train and be resilient and accept to suffer. One of the things that exposes women a lot is they don't want to suffer, especially those who are already involved in this war. If you are not ready to suffer, even the children that we have at home will say the same thing. If a child is not ready to suffer, suffering means that you should be hardworking, that you should give yourself some time. This thing that I'm learning, I'm starting a business. It must not just move today. And if it doesn't move today, I should not resign. I should continue and try hard, correcting wherever I went wrong. And tomorrow will be a better day for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. One of the reasons why they easily give in is because they are lazy and they don't want to engage into work because they think that is suffering. That is a piece of good news coming from you there, and I believe whoever is connected is blessed and has learned 1 or 2 things. Do not give in because you think that you don't want to work. Thank you for making yourself available. I believe you have such constructive ideas that all the daughters from Uku, to be precise, who are watching and you would like to come close to you and be educated on this type of things. You have opened up to even teach most of them.